Let's go.
Mission to regain that throne. With our soldiers on the field, we're getting deep in the zone.
Dang, number one in the building.
Classic Cowboys content. Angry Cowboys fan is who we win. Angry Cowboys fan. Classic Cowboys content. Angry Cowboys fan is who you with. Angry Cowboys fan. Cowboys fan, are you down the line? Angry Cowboys fan, are you down to ride? Drop a like on the video, go ahead and subscribe.
Yo, what's going on, Cowboys Nation and angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. And as you guys can see, I am back at the crib, back in the lab, got the green screen popping off and everything. So we're back from all the events, all the mourning, and well, we're going to continue to mourn, but the celebration of his life and everything like that, back at the crib. And I just wanted to talk to you guys about the future of the Angry Cowboys fan. You know what I'm saying? And first and foremost, got to give a shout out. Got to give a shout out. I don't know if y'all can see that because of the light. That's me and my brother back when we was young. He was 3 years older than me. So I always looked up to him. Always looked up to him as, that superhero, because not all superheroes wear capes. You know what I'm saying? So love you, Rick. And I just want to let you guys know, like, every time that I end the video or whatnot, y'all know I used to do this. Now y'all seeing me do that. Y'all know what that is. It's an R in sign language, all right? So that's what I'm doing, just giving a shout out to my brother. But I want to talk to y'all about, the recent events and everything, because like I said, man, y'all help me. Y'all help me cope and everything with what's going on. But actually, first and foremost, I had to reload my chat so I don't see who's in here right now. I see Kelvin's in here, John's in here. What's going on? All right, you got to tell me how to pronounce your name. TWY man. What does that mean? Please tell me what that means. I don't want to get nobody's name wrong. Chris May's in the building. What's going on? The Basement Boys is in the house. Yo, Hoodie, man, I appreciate you being in the DMs and just giving me, giving me an outlet, giving me somebody to talk to. That's dope. Everybody that has, reached out and sent their condolences and their well wishes. I truly thank each and every one of y'all for that. It's very, very it makes me feel good. It makes me feel better in the current situation. Um, but Monster at the building, what's going on? What's going on? See, I'd love to go live during the morning time. Around this time, I'd love to go live, but I don't want to step on a Skywalker Steel because that's his block. I don't want to step on his toes. And I know Law Nation, he be going live like about 1 my time, so about noon his time. So I'm gonna try to get in where I fit in, and that's what I was talking. Miss Matrix in the building. Hey, geez, how did I didn't see that? Okay, chat is messing up, y'all. My bad. But I just it's been a little hazy, so that's one of the main reasons why you hadn't seen too many uploads, and I apologize for that. Y'all know the situation, y'all know what's going on, and I really had to focus all my attention on making sure that my brother was sent off on this journey to become an angel properly. You know what I'm saying? And I will upload. Nisi, hey Nisi, how you doing? I will upload some of the things that I made for the service. I made 3 slideshows. I did pretty much an audio eulogy. We put on a really good service. Yeah, Kelvin. I feel you. Law says go live whenever you go live, but my thing is, I like to try to get as many Cowboys fans in here as I possibly can, and I feel like when 2 Cowboys content creators go live at the same time, it kind of pulls from that because it leaves y'all in a predicament. Like, dang, I like Angry. I'm rocking with Angry, but I'm gonna go over the Law. So I just want to give him his respect and everything. Anthony, what's going on with you? What's going on with you? I just want to give him his respect and his time slot, and him being the OG, one of the Mount Rushmore people. I damn sure don't want to step on his toes, but I don't want to step on any Cowboys content creators' toes. So I'm gonna get in where I fit in. We gon' we're gonna get to a point to where we have a regularly scheduled program. Dak Owens, what's going on with you? I just seen you pop up. What's going on with you? My chat is going bananas right now. But yeah, like this whole the end of May and in the whole month of June, it's just been super crazy. Like I went down to North Carolina 3 times in the last month. And the first time my brother was alive, but he was barely clinging. You know what I'm saying? So I needed to be there. And we came back for a week because we had some stuff to handle at the crib, and that's when he passed. So we went down again to set up the funeral arrangements, and then there was a part of my family that my sister was going to be out of town, so it was like, we can't have it this week. So we had it the following week, which was the 29th, and it was a beautiful service. Good morning, Roy. Good morning, my brother. Just explaining, kind of where I've been and everything. Nisi, I truly appreciate you. We only lost 2 subscribers, so so they are probably the ones that really don't know what's going on, what's happening. But man, the service was good. The songs that were picked were him, bam, just him to a T. And I was having a meltdown because brother, he rented his trailer. He lived in a trailer, so he rented it, and I was just like, man, this can't be the last time I walk out these walls, man. This can't be the last time. So I guess his daughter is gonna be taking it over, which is pretty cool. I think that is dope. We still get to keep an essence of him. But as y'all see, I'm sporting the new jewelry. The shark tooth was his, and bam, keep them close to my chest. But the other thing is right here. I don't know if y'all can see that. That is a little tiny basketball, a tiny basketball with his ashes in it, because my brother loved basketball. He loved to play basketball. He loved to watch basketball. He loved to talk it, but I'm a casual fan of basketball, so we would conversate back and forth about it. But he loved the Los Angeles Lakers. He loved the Lakers, and he loved Kobe Bryant. He loved Kobe Bryant. He loved the Mamba mentality. He just loved everything that had to do with Kobe. He was devastated when he passed. But so I felt it was only right that I brought his Kobe jersey home. But this is a dope jersey because turn it around, it got 24 on the back. So you got 8 on the front, 24 on the back. I like it. It's pretty dope. So I'm gonna find a frame to put that in, you know, just to represent my brother and represent Kobe. And the other one was the Adidas jump off. Bam. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna I'm probably gonna start watching more basketball. I'm gonna start watching the Los Angeles Lakers just out of memory for my brother. Um, so yeah, that's what's going on with that, man. But I was thinking a lot about the Angry Cowboys fan and what's gonna help me. What's gonna help me occupy my time and stuff like that. Yo, it says we got you, fam. In our thoughts and prayers, bro. Much, much love, kinfolk. And I don't want to make these lives about this. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to make these lives about this, but I feel like I owe you guys an apology and an explanation. I know you guys know that life be lifing. Life be lifing, and at some points we lose some of the people that we are so close to. Um, but y'all been rocking with me. You know, y'all kept me close to your hearts and everything. Y'all kept me in your prayers, and I truly appreciate it. Like I told you before, this is probably going to be, we'll be talking Cowboys talk, and then all of a sudden something to pop in my head that'll remind me of my brother, and you might have to, endure like 5 minutes of me talking about my brother. But yeah, it was pretty crazy because I had volunteered my time, Roy, absolutely one day at a time. But I volunteered my time because I felt like I was one of the closest members to my brother. I'm not making it a competition or anything, but I just know my brother. And so like slideshows for the funeral, music selections for the funeral, things like that. I was like, I'll take care of that. And the messed up thing, I tell y'all. All right, here it is. Sunday. We call the funeral home because the funeral is at 2:00. My wife calls the funeral home, and I think it was like 9:00 in the morning. And no, she calls the floral people, the place where she got the flowers. And they was like, well, we thought that they needed to be delivered on Monday. We was like, no, it needed to be delivered on Sunday. Like, that's on the paperwork. So at this point, we ain't got flowers for the service. Man, me and my wife, we scrambled back and forth, trying to look for any places that we could find flowers and the things that they make the funeral, like the flower arrangements with. We were looking for that. Carlito Cash, what's going on with you? Fresh King in the building. What's happening? Dallas Sports, what's going on with you? But yeah, we was running everywhere trying to get flowers. Boom, 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 boom. Putting them all together, and she made these 2 beautiful flower arrangements. I'm like, dang, man, you can add that to my DJ service. But we got all that situated, and I went to go deliver it to the funeral home, and it was like I brought it in there, and I seen the layout. The layout of the funeral. I seen my brother's picture with the flowers that did arrive. They did arrive for some reason, but it wasn't what we ordered. We had a banner that said father, son, and brother that wasn't even there. But I just seen it and I was like, damn, it's real. It's real, man. And I broke down, I broke down and did my crying and stuff. And then I went back home, got ready and everything, and we went back down for the service. And I think my crying came from seeing other people cry, you know, seeing family members whom I haven't seen in years, you know what I'm saying? Seeing his friends and my friends that were his friends. It was just like seeing them cry, it made me cry. But as far as like everything, I was okay. And I felt like for years, like my sister, my mom, my grandmother, they had to be the strong ones. And I was like, where do the strong people go when they need to break down? So I was like, pass me the rock on this one. I got this. For my brother, I got this. And the service was beautiful. It was amazing, y'all. It really was. It captured him to a T. So y'all let me know. I mean, I could put the slideshows up on the Angry Cowboys fan. I don't want to throw people off like this ain't football, but I could put it up because it's a tearjerker. It definitely is. It definitely is. But on some real, I mean, I can't say on some real stuff because that is real. But on another note, there we go. Um, I've kind of been out of the loop when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. And this is like the first time from but being a fan that watched them but didn't follow them like as far as deep in the stats and everything when I first started into the early 2000s. It wasn't until like 2014 where I really started worrying about stats or being interested in the draft and things like that. And right now, I just feel super out of the loop. You know what I'm saying? With everything that went on with the family, and I appreciate you, Dallas. I appreciate you, Dallas sports. Thank you so much. But being mentally away from everything that was going on, stop doing all that. Curtains over here making flashes and shit. But yeah, Dak Owens, thank you. Appreciate that. Hit that like button, please. Please. It helps us in the algorithm. But just being away, focusing on sending my brother off, I kind of fell out of the loop when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, I know right now, June to July, like pretty much training camp's going to be starting in July and the ball is going to be rolling. We're going to see how this team fleshes out into the 53-man roster, who's going to be our starters, things like that. Right now, it's kind of a dead zone, So there's like, oh, you really ain't missing much. It's just talk. So right now, I'm going back. I'm working on the Colin Cowherd thing because he has made several comments about the Dallas Cowboys, and they're all been negative comments. It's like this dude cannot talk and say anything positive about the Dallas Cowboys. Like, man, they shouldn't pay Micah Parsons. I bet I can dig back into crates, and he probably said Micah Parsons shouldn't take the money. Brian Schottenheimer is a one and done. Like, dang, Dak Prescott, all the stuff that he says about Dak Prescott. It's like, wow, y'all. Come on, Colin. Is there anything positive? And that's like, if you see me in some content creators' spaces, like during their lives and stuff, they'll be talking, and that's the question I'll ask. Like, is there anything positive going on with the Dallas Cowboys? Or is it all negative? We ain't gonna do this, we ain't gonna do that, they ain't gonna be this, they ain't gonna be that. Like, because there has to be a ray of light in this organization right now. And guys, I hate to admit it, and I know I said I wasn't gonna watch it, but that hold on. Damn. I gotta turn the AC off. This shit keep bugging me. But I said I wasn't gonna watch that Netflix special, the Dallas Cowboys, pretty much centered around Jerry Jones. But there's some stuff that he is saying in there that needs to be picked the hell apart. Real talk. Even just I watched the trailer this morning. I guess it comes out August something, like August 19th or something like that. But I watched the trailer for it this morning, and there was a point in it. There was a point in it where Charlotte says, what do you mean the Dallas Cowboys? I don't know anything about football. And she said that Jerry Jones said, I don't know anything about football either. Like, there you go. Why we haven't been to the Super Bowl in 30 years? There you go. They don't know nothing about football. They know how to market. They know how to brand. They know how to get the brand out there, get the brand in front of as many people as they can. But as far as the schematics of a football team, I don't know if they know what they really doing. They even said it. I mean, I know time, you grow with time and you get smarter in it in time, but it's like, dang, what you buy the Dallas Cowboys for? Was it for you or was it for, you know, winning? Like, all right, I'm winning in the oil, I'm a oil tycoon, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna go into this endeavor, buy a football team and win. Was that your goal, or was it just to buy a football team and then just get as much money as they possibly can? You know what I'm saying? Because you got thousands upon thousands. I think we hitting in the millions when it comes to Cowboys Nation. You got people out there that are depending on you to actually get this stuff done and bring home a championship. And as far as I'm concerned, it just looks like they're like, man, the money is rolling in. We doing good. We making profits. We the what, $10.6 billion franchise, the highest in any sports. We ain't gotta do nothing. We ain't gotta win no Super Bowls. We can just sit back, chill, and get this money. Like, I don't know if any of y'all Madden players, but I think that's the same thing with EA, man. They be going in like, man, we ain't got no competition, so we just go out there, get this money, put out any type of product, and they gonna buy it anyway. So I'm just hoping like now, like watching this whole Netflix series, hopefully you can get some answers. I can get some answers when it comes to Jerry's philosophy and his thought pattern when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. What's more important to him? And I know that they fluff him up, no diddy. Oh, I better stop saying that because he could he could get out on bail. But I don't know if it's just them like say this is good, say this and the fans will like it, or if it's Jerry being candid. But I'm gonna watch that Netflix series or the documentary if it's one video as opposed to a number of videos. Ah, yeah, Dallas sports, man. EA, they just like, yep, we getting money. There's no competition. There can't nobody else do anything because we got the exclusive license. So we just gonna reskin every year. So I've been hesitant on pre-ordering this year as far as Madden, but college, I'm about to order that right now. Shoot. And they do not know how to put a team concept in place, from the coaching to the culture to the schematics and philosophy. Bam. Nail on the head. Nail on the head. And the funny thing is, it doesn't take the deep Dallas Cowboys fan to even notice it. Like, casual fans notice it. Rival fan bases notice it. It's like, man, like, Jerry, I hope you know when you went to Philadelphia last year that they was clowning you. They weren't praising you. Yeah, you did a good job. Huh? You're doing a good job. Yo, they were clowning you. And that's another thing, y'all. That's another thing. I love my man Drew. I love you, Drew. I appreciate you. Drew's been another one of those guys that's been in my DMs, like with comforting words and everything during this time. But you be in my TikTok, bro, sending me the craziest crap. He be sending me the crazy stuff. Like, he tried to convince me that the 1940 something Philadelphia Eagles championships have to be put in the factor. They have to be put in play. I'm like, no, they don't. It wasn't even the NFL. How many teams was back in the 40s? And you gonna count those championships? Hell no. No, 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 no. Like when the Dallas Cowboys go back, they go back to the 70s. They go back to the 90s. They don't go back to the 40s just to bolster your argument. Like, nah, bro. Uh-uh. We're gonna do that. We're like, well, this person won a championship in high school, so that counts. No, we ain't doing that. Come on, man. And the funny thing to me is, and I said it in my response. I was like, you Eagles fans are really starting to turn into those LeBron style fans. You know what I'm saying? And if you're a LeBron fan, my brother was a LeBron fan. He was a LeBron fan, and I'd always say, like, why do you have to continue? Like, why do people have to continuously come up with these things in order to make LeBron look better than Michael Jordan? Why do Philadelphia Eagles fans have to come up with all these things to make the Philadelphia Eagles look better than the Dallas Cowboys? Like, yo, y'all just won the Super Bowl. By default, you're better. Take it. Take it, celebrate it. It is a new year, but if the Dallas Cowboys won the Super Bowl, listen, I'd be on here even in November, like, yeah, we won the Super Bowl. I'd be doing that. So I get it, but it just seems like everything that these Philadelphia Eagles fans talk about, it's comparing themselves to Dallas. Like, damn, stop. You know, I've always like in my older years, kind of lived by the mantra of stop trying to be somebody and just be somebody. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to be the next person. They got that little brother syndrome, like that middle brother, the middle brother that's just looking up at the big brother like, I love you, but I can be better than you. I can beat you in basketball. I can beat you one-on-one and just get dusted all the time. And then the middle brother goes and plays in his little, I guess you would call it, Pee Wee, Pop Warner, or whatever, basketball league. They win the championship and the brother doesn't, and he runs over. We won the championship. I'm better than you. Really, dude? Really, really, Eagles fans? Like, dang, y'all still the lowest in the division when it comes to Super Bowl wins. Like, just take this, build upon it, and try to create your dynasty. Stop trying to win the Super Bowl just to stick it to Dallas Cowboys fans. Cause that's crazy. You know, man, the 1940s had only 10 teams versus 32. Now, Coyote, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, you cannot compare back then to right now. You can't do it. Man, that's comparing apples to oranges. But people love to compare things. They love to put this person against that person, this person against that team, this person against pretty much the entire history of the league when it comes to that position. I mean, doing it with Dak Prescott. But let's see. I stopped buying Madden games because it's totally trash gameplay. Yeah, I didn't stop buying Madden because it's the only NFL game that I can play. I like to play simulation style games, put myself in it. You have an angry Cowboys fan as as the quarterback or the point guard or something like that. Well, I would be the power forward. But yeah, I just get it for that reason. You know, I wish they had competition, to tell you the God's honest truth, because I think 2K could hit a football game in the head. Real talk. But Dak owns. Filthy established 1933. Cowboys established 1960. Despite 30-year drought, Dallas Cowboys still the more accomplished franchise. And that's what I was trying to tell them. That's what I was trying to tell them. Like, right now, y'all on top. Y'all have shown what it takes to win the Super Bowl. Kudos. Great. But as far as an establishment, as far as a franchise, an organization, I would damn sure rather play for the Dallas Cowboys than the Philadelphia Eagles. Real talk. I would just rather do that. Because it just seems to me that is the more noticeable franchise as far as like eyes are concerned. Everybody is looking at the Dallas Cowboys, whether you are a fan or you are a hater. Everybody is looking at the Dallas Cowboys. And I, Nick on X, he put something up about Dak Prescott. Said Dak is going to prove all the haters wrong this season, and I kind of looked at it and I'm like, "Psst, the unfortunate thing is that Dak he could do that. He could go in, he could ball out of control, but if the team doesn't win it all, it's on him. They blame it on him. You know what I'm saying? That just doesn't sit well with me. Doesn't sit well with me. That's why I make the videos that I make when it comes to defending Dak Prescott. But yeah, this whole drought, man. You know, has a worse drought than us, but that's never talked about. You know, the Dallas Cowboys 30-year drought. I think Washington has like what their when was the last time they were in? Um, let's see. Let's see. Well, shoot. The last Super Bowl they were in was in 1992. 1992 against the Buffalo Bills, and obviously they won that one. Um, then before that it was 88, then 83. See, so they have a longer drought than us, but you don't hear that. It's all about the Dallas Cowboys and what drought that they have, and it's because it's the Dallas Cowboys. Even though we have a lot of people in Cowboys Nation, we have even more haters. And see, I like this. I like this, John. We own the Eagles. No matter what they say or do, we permanently dominate their minds and feelings. And that's the thing. We, as the team, the team has a great record against the Philadelphia Eagles. When the team is led by Dak Prescott, they have a great record against the Philadelphia Eagles, and they can't stand it. So when you have Philadelphia Eagles fans out there trying to give you advice on what to do and things like that, y'all should get rid of Dak Prescott, blah 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 blah. I'm like, tell me, why would I listen to a person whom the team has a rivalry with? You know what I'm saying? Why would I do that? And you look at a lot of content creators for the Eagles side, and it's like, so if Dak Prescott this, if Dak Prescott that, so if Dak Prescott this, like why? I don't get it. Like we ain't over here talking about Jalen Hurts and stuff unless we're gonna go up against him, or if we're comparing. If I'm doing something on the angry NFC East, um, that's when I talk about Jalen Hurts. But other than that, I don't really discuss him. I don't really talk about the Eagles like that. I I just don't get it why we rent space in their mind. Why it's so rent free in their minds. But all I can come to is that whole middle brother thing. Yeah, Coyote said the tackles and stuff in Madden is predetermined animations versus real simulation. They got to fix this, but they don't. And that was the thing about like 2K8. That was more physics based and more, real simulation. That's why like I own, an Xbox, a regular Xbox and a PS2 just so I can go back and play that game because that was when football games was football games. Here we are, years prior, and they still can't get it right. Nisi, yep, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. And yeah, Jeremy, the 49ers, they got the same drought. They got the same drought, but then that's when they'll micromanage the goalpost and they'll be like, well, they made it, they made it right there. So boom, they made it again, but they lost. Second sucks. Second sucks. Oh well, but Dak Prescott, he's second in MVP voting. Y'all keep saying that because we got to throw everything we can to show you that this dude is not who you say he is. You know what I'm saying? Ah, boy, shoot. Nobody talks about the Bills going to 4 straight Super Bowls and don't have a ring. You know, people act like like 3 rings from the 90s is worse than no rings. And here it is, 2025, and they still have no rings. That's why I feel like I felt for the past several years like, okay, it's going to be Buffalo's year. It's going to be Buffalo's year. Just because they've never won it, and they out of the teams that never won a Super Bowl, they have been the most polished. They have been the most the team that's been around the rim the most. And it's like, when they gonna win one? You know, like damn. I mean, don't get it twisted. If it goes to the Super Bowl and it's the Cowboys and the Bills, like, nah, it ain't. No, nope, you ain't gonna get it this year, damn it. But if it's like the Bills and the Detroit Lions, I'm like, okay, let the Bills get one. Oh well, actually, the Detroit Lions are the Bills. Like, shoot, whoever wins is gonna get their first one. So may the best team win. That would be a pretty good Super Bowl if you ask me. But them losing Ben, yeah, they lost what's his name? Ben Johnson. Lost him to the Bears. Sorry, my head is cloudy. Lost him to the Bears. So it's like we don't know what their offense is gonna look like. We don't know if they're gonna regress because trying to learn a new offense. And I feel like everybody talks about, like Colin Cowherd talks about, he's Brian Schottenheimer is going to be a one and done coach. But what Brian Schottenheimer has at his advantage is continuity. His philosophy may stray tremendously when it comes to him and Mike McCarthy. It may split, but at the same time, he's going to keep a semblance of that, like a shell of that offensive scheme that Mike McCarthy had, as far as like the West Coast style, the timing style, offense. He's going to keep that. So it can be fresh in the minds of the Dallas Cowboys players. They don't have to just get completely acclimated to another offensive scheme. Like if they went from the West Coast to a more spread style offense, like, okay, we got to get acclimated to this. Nah, Brian Schottenheimer brings that continuity. So I feel that's going to be to our advantage going into games like against the Detroit Lions or against the Philadelphia Eagles, because they're having a new offensive coordinator come in as well. We don't know if he's going to be calling plays or if it's going to be Nick Sirianni, but they got some stuff that they got to take care of too. Their back half on the defense, they got to take care of that too. We're not the only question marks out there. And I was actually watching Mina Kimes and Ryan Clark. They were talking about team matchups and everything. And they made it a negative that we don't know what the Dallas Cowboys defense is going to be. We don't know what it's going to be. You don't know what the Philadelphia Eagles defense is going to be. So, but they get placed up top just by proxy because they won the Super Bowl last year. We don't know what a lot of these teams are going to be. The Chicago Bears, now that Ben Johnson is over there, we don't know what that team's going to be. JJ McCarthy with the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings did great last year, but we don't know what he's going to be at the quarterback position. So there is a lot of question marks with the teams that were great last year. There's a lot of question marks. So I feel like a lot of people felt like the what was it? 2021 was the prime year, 2021 and 2023, because nobody knew. It was just like a huge toss up as to who could win because there wasn't a great team that was just dominating. I think this year is going to be that same style. You know what I'm saying? Rayshawn, what's going on with you? What's going on with you? And just going to implement more of a run scheme to marry that passing game in that Texas Coast offense. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That continuity, but being able to just marry that. And if I hate to keep bringing up Madden, but it even works in Madden. It even works in Madden. If you run out of a bunch set all the time, then it makes it harder for a defense to be like, okay, what are they doing? Running or passing? So if they just do that and they hit him with a run. They keep hitting him with a run, and out of that same formation, boom, they hit him with something over the top. Like that just makes the defensive coordinators. It makes it his job harder, and it sucks. Like such a I would call him decorated. Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl, but like, damn, dog, you don't know this? You don't know this? You just gonna go out there and just run plays like you going with coach suggestions. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Like, but it's good that Brian Schottenheimer is bringing that in. But I know one thing that I did. I was a weak side linebacker. I wasn't the Mike. But what I did as being a linebacker, if I was gonna blitz or a defensive end, you know, I looked at the hip of the tackle. I looked at the hip of the offensive tackle because it's crazy. If you watch film, you will see, and you can get hit on, let's say, like a play action. So you do have to keep your head on a swivel. But if you pay attention to the outside hip of the tackle, you know if it's a run or a pass play. Because if they going at you, it's either a play action or a run. If they're, if their first step is that right or left leg kicking out, pass. Pass all day. That's how I always gauged blitzing the quarterback. Let's see. Yo, Skull Crutcher, what's going on? Says Eagles fans are reminding me of Ohio State fans these days by how Michigan lives rent free in their heads, even with winning the national championship. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why y'all worried about what the other team does? The only time that you should be worried about what the other team does is if they win the Super Bowl and they have shown you a formula of how to do so. Okay, you worry about what their front office does. But as far as like me going to like a Eagles content creators page and being like, yo, y'all really need to get rid of this person. Y'all need to get rid of that person. You know, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I could care less because if they're hamstringing you, I am begging you to keep that person. Real talk. If they are hamstringing you, I am begging you to keep that person. But you'll hear Eagles fans after you're like, why do you care? And they're like, well, I don't care, but I'm just trying to help you out. Like, no, you're not. That just that's counterproductive to your end game. And your end game is for your team to win the championship. So why do you care about what the Dallas Cowboys do all the time? It's envy. We're America's team now. It's envy. We want Dallas with the Washington Commanders. Oh, that was such a great laugh last year. Oh, that was such a great laugh. Oh man. Like they was out there chanting after they had that big win. We want Dallas. And Cooper Rush and company came in there and said, shut up. Shut up. Hold that L. Oh man. But I'm debating on going to the Washington game. I'm debating on going to the Jets game when they play the Cowboys at MetLife. I was thinking of going to the Giants game when they play in Dallas. So I could just go down with a great feeling that we're gonna come out with a dub because I don't want to go to a Kansas City Chiefs game because I'm like, damn, am I just gonna waste my money on a loss? But the Cowboys can do Cowboys things and come out with a dub in that game. But yeah, we stay rent free in that mug. We ain't even got to pay utilities in an Eagles fan's head. We all up in it. No diddy. Dang, I gotta stop saying that. Like I said, he gonna get out on bail and come searching for me. True Cowboys fan, what's going on with you? Cowboys defense will be better, but will take a step back in passing. It may even out. So you're saying the Cowboys defense will be better, but we're gonna take a step back on the offense, or are we gonna take a step back when it comes to the passing defense? Because I feel that one. Yeah, we might take a step back unless Trayvon can pull a miracle and he can pull a rabbit out of the hat and be ready for day one. Like we are gonna have a little bit of a problem when it comes to our secondary. I- ugh. That's why I am so pro Gilmore. I am so pro the Dallas Cowboys just saying, you know what? Let's bring Gilly Rock in. And even when Trayvon Diggs comes back and he is 100% ready to go, you got Trayvon Diggs, you got Deron Bland, and you got Stephon Gilmore. I like that. I like that cornerback room. And then you got Elam, you got Kalen Carson, you got Revel, you got some potentials, but like Cowboys love to do, they love to get them at the tail end of an injury and they got to work their way back. But if it was 100%, if they were 100% as far as health wise, I believe that you add Gilly to the mix, we got some dogs, man. I don't know why I don't know why Jerry Jones be going shopping at the animal shelter. He go past the dogs. He see all them dogs like ready to just go home, and they go pick up a ferret. Why? Like, damn, we didn't need the ferret. We needed the dog. So they need to stop playing the games. They just need to go ahead and get Gilly Rock. It is a shame and a disgrace that Amari Cooper is still a free agent. Keenan Allen is still a free agent, I believe. Like I said, I've been out of the mix for about a month now. I mean, I've made videos, but as far as like being mentally, boom, I've been with my brother. Oh shit, my sister calling me, of course. Can't answer you right now, Nick. Love you, but I don't think you want to be live right now. Oh man, Lee, what's going on with you? Says this is our year. I can't say that. I can't say it. I can't fix my mouth to say it. I would love for it to be our year. I would love for it to be that. But we got issues. We got issues. If we were to make it to a Super Bowl as it stands right now, we're stumbling into it. We're kind of as it stands right now. But like I said, at the end of the day right now, we don't know what we got. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what we got in the run game. We don't know if a Jadon Blue is going to be, that difference maker, that person to get in there and have 100-yard games, 12 out of the 17 games. That would be dope. You know what I'm saying? That would be dope. But we just don't know. I'm seeing a lot of content creators saying that the offensive, well, not the offensive, but the defensive line is being underrated. People are underrating the defensive line. They're not giving the Dallas Cowboys any type of props for doing what they did, even though they will have stories like, oh man, this NFC East team said this about the acquisition of George Pickens with the Dallas Cowboys, blah, blah, blah. They're worried. But then they just come out and man, the Dallas Cowboys ain't going to be nothing this year. They'd be lucky to win 7 games. Like I said in my live when I was down in North Carolina, have that same energy when we go past your expectations. Don't be like, oh, I knew they were gonna do it. No, you didn't. Because I should bookmark like this Colin Cowherd stuff. I should bookmark it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna write the date down that it was so that I can go back to it when Brian Schottenheimer and the Dallas Cowboys do better than expected. I'm not going to say that this is our year because I feel that we need a little bit of time, to gel. But the thing that works on our side is that Brian Schottenheimer has been here. And I don't want to hear the fairy tales about, oh, well, first time coach. Do-do-do-do-do. Nick Sirianni was a first time head coach too. Where did his team go last year? The damn Super Bowl. So if he can do it, we can do it. We just got to figure out how. Well, the front office just has to figure out how. And I think it really boils down to an organization allowing the coach to do 100% his job and not meddling, not interfering, not taking pieces away from that coach because you don't want said piece to get a roster bonus or a bonus that's going to pay him more money. Like, damn, don't do that. You know, you sit there and you hear Jerry Jones talk about how much money he would pay to get a Super Bowl, but then you see him doing stuff like that and penny pinching and stuff. It's like, what story is it, Jerry? You would pay anything for a Super Bowl, or are you just trying to be conservative and count your money and stuff? And like, because you can't have it two ways. You can't have bargain bin players and then meddle in with the scheme and the philosophy of the football team. You can't do that because it's gonna create a rift. It's gonna create bumping heads. And I just hope like the Brian Schottenheimer hire wasn't one of those hires where it's like, oh yeah, we can tell him what to do. He gonna listen. He is a yes man. I I just hope it ain't that, but I hope it's our year. ah, they scared of us. Why do you think they all wanted Cooper Rush to start? See, exactly. Like, yo, Dak ain't it. Y'all need to go with Joe Milton. Why? So you can pick him off 5 times in a game? I'm like, why should we go to Joe Milton? Ain't nobody at the quarterback's position has shown me more than Dak Prescott during his tenure. Nobody. And you can't say that he hasn't, like, nobody else has had the chance because y'all call him injury prone. He's been out 2 seasons due to season ending injuries. The quarterback that was there could have stepped up and made a name for himself, but didn't. Like last year, going 7-9 and everything like that, they would have blamed that all on Dak. Dak sucks, blah, 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 blah. You didn't hear anything like that with Cooper Rush. And I don't want to hear about, well, Dak Prescott started out 3-5. Y'all remember that year? I can't remember right off the top of my head. I have to go look at it. But the year that we attained Amari Cooper, at the 8th game of the season, guess what our record was? 3-5. So it is a possibility for a quarterback to go in there and lead his team, for a team to step up, for a defense to step up and to win games in order to make it to the playoffs that year. We've done it. No, actually, we missed by the hair of our chin. We missed that year. But dang, going like, what was it, nine straight? It's possible. And I didn't put that expectation on Cooper Rush, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, so if the people that don't like Dak and think that Cooper Rush can do a better job, Cooper Rush should be able to go in there and at least give our team a fighting chance to make it to the playoffs. It didn't go that way. So then at the end of the season, you're sitting there and you're like, what's up with your boy? I thought he could lead the team. Like, what happened? And then people are going to, well, you can't help when the onside kick. We had the onside kick, but dude fumbled the boop, 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 boop. Oh no. The dude touched blocked the punt, and then you didn't have to recover it, dude. Just let it bounce. But he didn't know that. And so they put those excuses, they put the excuses that, these injuries and da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, yo, what about those same excuses, but with your starting quarterback? It just don't make no damn sense to me. It don't make no sense to me. But Cooper Rush is in a better place. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get the acquisition for the Baltimore Ravens. It's like, if Lamar Jackson goes down, knock on wood, he doesn't. But if Lamar Jackson goes down, your entire offensive strategy is going to change. Like, it ain't just it's really going to be the definition of hand the ball off, hand the ball off, hand the ball off. What they did with, what Mike McCarthy did, and it wasn't an exorbitant amount of, okay, when Dak went down, they ran the ball like 90% of the time. No, they ran the ball the same amount of time, maybe a little bit more under Cooper Rush. But what they did was they schemed it right. They called the right runs. You know, they didn't just, okay, get in here, go in shotgun, run it up the gut, inside zone. No, they didn't do that. They actually strategized. They knew what they had in Cooper Rush, and they strategized. One thing that I feel that Cowboys Nation and the Cowboys organization does is when they say we're only going to go as far as Dak takes us, they take it to heart. They put way too much pressure on this man's arm to get it done. And I said it the last time I went live, when you only got a plan A and they shut down the plan A, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day for you. True Cowboy, the run defense will be better and step back in passing because linebackers checking. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's my thing. And you know, these slot receivers and everything. You call the wrong defense and you have a straight linebacker out there that really can't cover well, and you put them up against a legit slot, they gonna get cooked. Barbecue chicken. Barbecue chicken. Let's see. If that happens, bro, I would absolutely move Gilly to free safety. Y'all can call me crazy, but that would work, bro. Ah, okay. Okay. I like it. The free safety position. So you'd have him out there, so Gilly and Hooker? I would like that tandem. Gilly and Hooker doing their thing out there at free safety. I could dig it. I could dig it, and the thing is that him, being an older cornerback and everything, it would be much better on his longevity for the year. But Gilly ain't afraid to hit neither. From what I remember, Gilly ain't too afraid to hit. I heard somewhere the Eagles practice the tush push. What? Lord have mercy, man. The best one I heard was that somebody said Eagles fans eat corn on the cob the long way. I just lost it. Oh shoot! Trying to get back bragging rights against Steelers fans. Don't care about the Eagles. That's the thing, true Cowboys, man. The Steelers have 6. We got to pass the Steelers. The Eagles, man, y'all got 3 more. You got to have a dynasty before you mess with us. So we really worried about God, John. But we really worried about the Steelers trying to catch up and pass the Steelers. John said Nosferatu Sarani. Oh Lord. Yeah, Mike. Absolutely right. Jerry tells you what you want to hear. Tells you what you want to hear. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. We were bad first half of the season. Then, yeah, there you go. Those were the seasons 2017, 2018. Like that year that we got Amari Cooper, we just missed the playoffs. We just missed. But then we came out that following year and was just ripping it up, tearing it up. Yep. Coyote, we were bad the first half of the season, then got hot after Amari. And that was like the shot in the arm that everybody was just begging for this year. And we were hoping that shot in the arm came from the draft, but the shot in the arm eventually came from, Pickens coming to the team. And I hope that he has that Amari Cooper style of effect, because we didn't obviously have Amari Cooper at the beginning of the season to go through training camps and actually be fit in the scheme from day one. We got that advantage with George Pickens, and I think that pass game, the Cowboys passing attack, that it is going to open the rushing attack. I feel like defensive coordinators are going to have to really look, and this includes Jalen Tolbert as well, because they got to really look at the outside. I mean, if you motion CD into the slot or whatever, but really they really have to pay attention to Pickens and CD, and that's going to allow Jake Ferguson and Jalen Tolbert or Kavontae Turpin, are their backups, to eat. And that's why I feel it's super important for Jake Ferguson. For Jake Ferguson to have a bounce back year, comeback player of the year on that type stuff. Because If they scheming to take CD and George Pickens out, that's gonna open your rushing attack. That's going with the line that we got, the interior line that we got, that's gonna open the rushing attack to where they're gonna be able to just gash you for 4.5 to 5 yards a carry. And if you doing that, we ahead of the sticks, man. We ahead of the sticks. You ahead of the sticks, you're gonna score unless you get down there and stall out. But the thing is, that's when you put a Jake Ferguson, a Brevin Spanford, and George Pickens and CD Lamb out there. Pick your poison. Like, cause all of them boys can high point the ball. I mean, Jake Ferguson, he ain't jumping out the gym, but as far as George Pickens, CD Lamb, like they all high pointing the ball. Then you got just like that Pittsburgh Steelers game where you had Jalen Tolbert doing the mesh, that drag right across the field. You got that. Like, I think we're gonna be good. It all depends on the rushing attack, who they choose to make this 53-man roster. And the more I keep hearing about Phil Maffa, the more I want him on the team. You know, I I like I like shoot. I am drawing a blank, guys. I am drawing a blank. What's his name? Hunter Lipke. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, big time show in the building. What's going on with you? Hunter Lipke, I like him, but I like him more as a pass threat. You know what I'm saying? I like him more as a threat lining up in a tight end position. Kind of like Sean McEwen used to do for us. They had him listed as a tight end, but they would put him in the fullback spot, things like that. I think Hunter Lipke should be moved to that tight end room, him, Spanford, and Ferguson, to allow another running back to be on the 53-man roster. So, like, my running backs, I'd have Deuce Vaughn back. Yep. Jadon Blue, those two would be my lightning. And then I'd probably have, I heard Miles Sanders is turning heads. And Phil Maffa. Like, that takes care of your thunder, that takes care of your lightning on both the starters and the backups. Thunder and lightning. Boom, boom, boom. We ain't stopping. So that's what I'd like to see in the backfield. I'd also like to see them do more like more 22 personnel. Having our jumbo sets. Seeing, like, you come out jumbo sets all the time. You got two tight ends out there. We gonna bully you. We gonna run the ball on you, and we gonna bully you. That's what I want to see. But with Brian Schottenheimer wanting to marry this pass with the run, I believe that's what you're gonna see. I believe that's what you're gonna see. You're gonna see more of those jumbo sets. You're gonna see more of the play action coming out of the jumbo set. And this year's gonna be something. It's gonna be something to witness, and we are going to be here together to witness it all. Oh yeah, and I got to tell y'all this real quick. I'm jumping right off the topic real quick. At the celebration of my brother's life at the funeral, I did this. It was probably like a 10-minute eulogy, but I pre-recorded it. I recorded it here and sent it to the funeral home because at that point I thought I was gonna be a wreck and wouldn't be able to talk. So even though I did get up and talk, so I pre-recorded it to make sure. After the pre-recording, tell me the funeral director didn't. He was like, "Can I ask you a question?" I was like, "Sure." He was like, "What do you do?" uh, I was I was like, "Well, and I didn't want to sound like I'm Tom Pelissero or somebody like that from ESPN, but I was like, on an unofficial basis, I cover the Dallas Cowboys. You know, he was like, "You got such a radio voice," and blah blah blah. I'm like, "Yeah, I hear it all the time, man. I hear it all the time. If you want to outsource some of your work, I got you." But it was just funny that he talked about that during the funeral and after the funeral. Like, damn, bro. Like, you want to hire me? I mean, I don't know if I can work 900 miles away, but I can narrate your stuff if you need me to. But yeah, Coyote, we gonna jump back on the Cowboys. We have a true deep threat now. I mean, I keep it a buck. We kind of had a deep threat already. Cavante Turpin. He's a deep threat. I remember one of those 49ers games. It wasn't the playoff games. I think it was during the season. He was one of the only receivers that actually scored. Like, I think Cavante Turpin gets looked at just because he's from the UFL or whatever. He gets looked at as like, he can't really do it. But T.Y. Hilton or Cavante Turpin, an old T.Y. Hilton, I would have went with Cavante Turpin. Y'all seen him last year hit his head off the goalpost on that slant route. Guess what happened after that? Nothing. Mike McCarthy took him out. Mike McCarthy didn't dial up any more plays to actually gash how they gashed that previous play. That ain't a him thing. That ain't a Cavante Turpin thing. That is a coaching and schematic thing. Like, that man should have been out there, because his presence out there after gashing them, the defense ain't gonna be like, oh, that was a fluke. They called a slipping. No, they're gonna look at him like, no, you ain't gonna do that again. You are not going to do that again. So that poses another threat on the offensive side of the ball. But no, Mike McCarthy didn't think this way. Mike McCarthy said, all right, thanks, kid. You got us that touchdown. Great job. Sit down. I just pray that Brian Schottenheimer has a different philosophy as opposed to doing that, because I have the philosophy of, like a basketball player, if I'm on the team and my shooting guard is shooting lights out, keep feeding them. No Diddy. Keep getting them the ball. Keep getting them the ball. Get him the ball until he drops. Until he drops off and becomes cold. They don't really do that. It was just like, spam Lamb, throw the ball to CD. He's triple covered, throw the ball to CD. That it was even like that in 2023. Everybody's like, feed Lamb, feed the Lamb. And trying to do that and forcing passes in, they're getting intercepted. It's like, Dak Prescott, you suck. You throwing interceptions. Like, you told me to feed Lamb. That's the only offense that we really got. So if they scheme on it, they're going to get picks. Let's see. Charles, what's going on with you? It says that was 2018. Got Cooper, made the playoffs, beat the Seahawks, then got 10 over by old Rams, big running back, barely lost. Yeah. So we did make the playoffs the year that Cooper came. Because, let me see. Cooper joined the Cowboys. 2018. Let's see. All right. 2018, Dallas Cowboys. 2018 record. We were 10-6 at the top of the division, making it to the playoffs. So when we got Cooper that year, we made it to the playoffs. Started out 3-5 in that season and still made it to the playoffs. So how was your man Cooper better than Dak Prescott? He couldn't do it. Oh man, we had all these injuries. Like I said, man, they will give these backup quarterbacks all the excuses that you will hear somebody who supports Dak Prescott give for Dak Prescott. But then they'll be, nah, man, no, shoot, forget that. Dak don't get no excuses. Why he need all these excuses? Why your backup need all these excuses? You know what I'm saying? And that year, the offensive coordinator was Scott Linehan. It wasn't a Kellen Moore or a Mike McCarthy. And like, the Cowboys kind of balled. We balled. Lost by 8 points to the Los Angeles Rams. Won by 2 in the wild card round. But I just say that to say this. Like, we could have made hay. We could have made some noise going into the playoffs this year. But it shows you that an entire team can win the game for you, and the entire team can lose the game for you. It's not all about just one player, like, oh, we lost that game because of Dak Prescott. No, you didn't. You lost that game because you couldn't stop the run. You lost that game because the scheme that your offensive coordinator came up with didn't work. That's how you lost the game. But everybody needs an enemy. Everybody needs a person to point to and to blame. That's what I've noticed, and that's what I've noticed with that section of Cowboys Nation. They need somebody to point to and say, "You are the reason for our misfortunes as a entire organization." Other people like us, everybody in here, we kind of micro. We look at things that's beyond the surface. Like what's really hurting this team? What has been hurting this team for the past 30 years, because it didn't just happen in 2016. We are those thinkers that will think outside of the box in order to make this team better. Those other ones, they're just like black and white. It's like polar, it's called polarized thinking. You're either thinking you absolutely suck or you're the greatest of all time. There's no gray area. And that was another video that I had made about the ring culture. LeBron bringing it up. That's why I said when I made the video, like, don't worry about who that messenger was, because he's saying this for his own benefit. But it does make sense. Like, the ring culture has fans as well as talking heads saying you are not good unless you win a Super Bowl. And that's not the case. That's not the case. Jim Kelly was great. 4 times shot at it, but didn't get it. Dan Marino was great. Warren Moon was great, but they just couldn't get it done as you know, an entire unit. But anyway, John, every season is a clean slate. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Every season is a clean slate. There are always a team or two that nobody sees coming or expects anything from, and are unexpectedly good teams. Why can't that be us? Certainly possible. Exactly. Exactly. Like, these talking heads will big up Seattle before they big up the Cowboys. And the Cowboys have really been there. Like, for the past three years, they've been there. You can't say so much for the Seahawks, you know. Or they will give more grace to, like, Ryan Clark. And I think I'm gonna make a video on this. I actually gotta go down to the hospital and get a CAT scan, not a CAT scan, but a ultrasound done. But I'm gonna make a video about it. Mina Kimes having Ryan Clark on, and they're comparing, the Cowboys. The Cowboys are the 49ers. Ryan Clark goes 49ers. The Cowboys are the Steelers. Ryan Clark, Steelers. Even though the quarterback situation down there, you got one really legit wide receiver in DK Metcalf. I believe Najee Harris is still there, but other than that, there's huge question marks over there. He only said the Pittsburgh Steelers because that's his team. That's the team he played for. But it's like, can we get a legitimate critique? Can we get a legitimate critique? Because when you say that you don't know what our defense is, but I can think of 3 other teams that you just named before the Dallas Cowboys who you don't know what their offense or their defense is going to be like. So it just, you're right, John. It's like every year it's a clean slate. You don't know what these teams have put together. You don't know what these teams are going to do. I mean, you have a reference point from their college, from the rookies' college play. You have a reference point of what individuals were able to do last year. But as far as a unit, as far as getting, I say, a new used head coach, I think the Dallas Cowboys got a surprise up their sleeve, and people just don't want to admit it, you know. But we're gonna see this year. Keep giving them, keep giving it to him. He hot. Exactly. Keep giving it to him. He's hot. You keep giving him the ball. Real talk. Real talk. I think it's possible, John Sims. The scheme, philosophy, mindset, the coaching will make a big total difference. Watch. That's what I'm saying. And if Jerry Jones can just take his hands, and I know it's hard. I know it's hard. That's his baby. The Dallas Cowboys is his baby. Some people will say like, well, that Dallas Cowboys really don't mean anything to Jerry Jones because he gets money. No, I know he gets money with his oil and stuff like that. He gets money that way, but he gets respect. He gets money. He gets a sense of purpose. If the Cowboys go out and they win a Super Bowl, people are going to be like, Jerry Jones is a genius. It feeds his ego. So that's why I feel like the Dallas Cowboys are like almost numero uno on his priority list as far as extending the brand and making the brand what it is today. Excuse me. Oh boy. But if Jerry and Steven just allow Brian Schottenheimer and the rest of the coaching staff to work with their guys. And I mean, I understand that Brian Schottenheimer probably won't have 100%, autonomy over the team, that he won't be making 100% of the decisions. The GM is still Jerry Jones, but Jerry Jones needs to be more apt to listen instead of just, oh, well, yeah, you need this player. Let's look at the price. Oh, he's too much. I like we can't be like that. You talk about you don't know the check that you would write to win a Super Bowl, but then you go cheap in free agency, or if you don't go at all, you know, it's got to change. The scheme, I believe, is going to change. It's going to be more fast paced with Brian Schottenheimer. Yeah, it's going to be ground and pound, but you're going to see the bubble screens. You're going to see a little bit more RPO action. Yeah, I feel the scheme is going to change and it's going to benefit our Cowboys. The philosophy needs to be established by that locker room and the coaching staff. Jerry needs not have anything to do with the football aspect of the philosophy. For the Brandon, that's all yours. That's like Brian Schottenheimer coming into your office telling you how to market the Dallas Cowboys. You can't tell Jerry nothing when it comes to marketing because he's a dog at it. But you're not a dog at football scheme and philosophy, the the mindset. You're not a dog at that. Leave the dog stuff to the dogs when it comes to the football situation. And if he does that, I believe that the Dallas Cowboys they could they could do something. And I'm not gonna say they could win the Super Bowl, but they damn sure could do something. I mean, I trust Matt Eberflus with this defense because his defense got us to a divisional round playoff game before. You know what I'm saying? Got this organization, not a different organization, this organization. So, with the right pieces, the right tools, this defense can be a top 5 defense. But we just got to get the right tools. We got to have the right mindset. Like, I work my ass off for my brother next to me, and he works his ass off for me and the brother opposite of me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Mike Fisher said it a lot, 53 brands last year. But I believe that Brian Schottenheimer, with his philosophy of family, his philosophy of togetherness, of camaraderie, like that is really bleeding down into the Dallas Cowboys players. You really see a trickle down effect because they're doing the same thing. And I know that, the good night call was something that Micah Parsons probably saw on TikTok and thought it was a funny thing, but he didn't have to act. He didn't have to call those people. He didn't have to act on that, but he did, creating camaraderie. These little retreats that they go on, like sure they have them every year, but damn, this year looked special. It looked like they weren't just going through the motions, that they were actually having fun and they were building together. Like this year is going to be something, Cowboys Nation. It's going to be something, and we are going to be here to witness it. Let's see what you're saying. Skull says we can never expect fair takes from those sports networks when it comes to the Cowboys. Continue to prove they are nothing but a clown show. And see, that's one of the things why I started Angry Cowboys Fan, was to take those takes and pretty much turn them on side of their head and give my raw and uncut on them. And people ask me, well, why do you watch the 3 and 4 letter networks? I do it so you don't have to. I do it. You could consider me like an extension of that show that I pick, for the clips. It's the voice of reason. Because everybody gonna go in there and bash the Cowboys, but I'm like, hold up, think about this. Think about this. I remember, before my brother died, he was like, I'd love to see you talk to Stephen A about the Cowboys. I say, boy, after coming down off the starstruck, because I would be, I think I could come up with a pretty good debate for Stephen A. I don't do debates much, but when I do, I do. Hoodie Kush. The basement boy. I'm gonna stop calling you Hoodie Kush. You the basement boys. You the basement boys. If y'all ain't subscribed to the basement boys, by all means, please go subscribe to the channel. He is an up and coming YouTube content creator for our Dallas Cowboys, and y'all just go over and show him love like y'all showed me love. You know what I'm saying? Says there are only a few quarterbacks who are consistently in the playoffs. And Dak is one of them. Yep. But they say he's just like Kirk Cousins. Kirk barely sniffed the playoffs. That's just a way for them to, diminish any type of accomplishment that he's made. That's why I feel like if he were to make it to an NFC championship, they would take all the negatives out of it. Oh, he threw 2 interceptions in that game. You can't be doing that as the quarterback. Yes, you can't be doing that as the quarterback, but didn't y'all say like he's never made it to an NFC championship? That's when you'll see the goalposts get moved to he's never made it to a Super Bowl. Once he has accomplished what they said he's never made it to, they'll move the goalposts even further to where it's something that he's never done. You know, I hate it. And I hate the comparisons. Comparison is the thief to joy. Like a lot of people don't get to enjoy their football experience because they're too busy comparing the Dallas Cowboys to another team. They're too busy comparing the quarterback to another quarterback. Like you can't just sit back and enjoy the game of football because you're too worried about what another team has. Not me. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna enjoy my Dallas Cowboys. If we suck, it's gonna hurt to have to sit there and watch, but damn it, I'm gonna do it. I ain't the type to just nope, click, turn the TV off. I ain't watching that. I ain't gonna do that because I'll be robbing y'all if I did so. And I think y'all feel the same way because every one of y'all in this chat has been here through the off season, and I'll say seasons because technically this is the second off season for me. The second off season. But why y'all sleeping on Donovan Wilson 2 years back from injury? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Dono can do this year, man. There's a few times. I won't even say a couple. There's a few times where Dono got caught out there like Khalees. Like for real. Man. And we were talking about how Mingo put what was that, Quinyon Mitchell in a blender. Mm, shoot. Donovan Wilson was out there. He was out there in a blender too. He was in a bullet. No, did he? Damn it. Gotta stop saying that. All right. People often forget that a star-laden roster doesn't guarantee a chip. Coaching and chemistry are key. A group of players who mesh well and can execute well can be very successful. Hence, the Washington Commanders. That's what I'm talking about. Hence, the Washington Commanders. You don't have to have all these dogs, all these all pros. You just got to know how to use what you have. You got to know how to use what you have. And that doesn't just come from the coaching staff. That comes from the ownership, too. You got to allow these coaches to do their job. If you're hamstringing them from doing their job, then you're hamstringing the team. Jerry don't seem to realize that because the team ain't the 53 men and the coaches out there to him. The team is him. The team is him and whoever's bringing this money in. So it's Charlotte and Steven and Jerry Jones Jr. and the family. Joe, all the way from Italy. What's going on with you? What's going on with you? What is it? Night over there? It's 11:55 a.m. over here. Is it night over there? Phew. Says I agree with you, ACF, all the damn way, bro. Hit the nail on the head. I I try to, fam. I try to. We all, it ain't. What I like about this is that it's not an echo chamber. We agree, we disagree, but the thing is that we build. You know what I'm saying? If somebody has a opinion that differs from mine, I'd love to hear it because hey, I'm open to it. You may spark something in me like, damn, you're right. You're right. Let me change my perspective on this because you're absolutely right. So I love that type of environment, that type of atmosphere. When people that come in, they talk about Dak. You can do that all you want to. It is what it is. Like you have your opinion when it comes to Dak Prescott, but like when you don't offer ways to build, when it makes me feel like you in here trying to tear down walls instead of building solid foundation and solid conversation, then that's when I got the issue. That's when I asked, like, are you even a Cowboys fan? So yeah, man, I love the camaraderie that we all have. Like I feel the angry Cowboys fan right now is strong and it's only gonna get even stronger, with the blessings of our Lord. But we gonna continue. That's one of the main reasons why I actually, you know, made this live and went live this morning. Let's get back at it, angry Cowboys fan, is because I want you guys to know that even though my family has suffered the loss of my brother, that's not gonna hinder me anymore from making quality Cowboys content. It took me away from it, but it took me away from it for a minute because I had to deal with laying him to rest. Now that his soul is soaring and it's in heaven, I can actually get back to putting my focus on you guys, putting my focus on Dallas Cowboys content, my focus on my family that's here, my wife, my grandkids, my kids. I mean, even this past weekend, I got to give a shout out to my middle son, Ricardo, whom he was named after Rick, but I got to give a huge shout out to him. I love you, Ricardo. He graduated high school, you know, the weekend of us having to lay Rick to rest. He knew it, and for some reason he had like this connection with my brother, so he was kind of torn up about it during graduation. So yeah, it was hard, but now that everything is said and done, I can devote my time back to, getting up to date and keeping y'all up to date with the Dallas Cowboys, going live even more because there was a lot of times where I didn't go live because why? Because I was talking to my brother on video call and we would be talking about different things because we have another YouTube channel, Splatter Talk Cinema. Um, but now that time slot is open and I wouldn't be talking. Okay, babe. And I wouldn't be talking to him. I think I'm gonna try to go live more there. I'm gonna try to make more videos there. So y'all might be getting like 1 to 2 uploads each day. But I'm gonna keep busy. I'm gonna keep giving y'all the quality Cowboys content. This is not the end of the Dallas Cowboys Angry Cowboys fan YouTube channel. It's not the end. It's honestly the beginning. You know, it's the beginning, the post losing my brother. So yeah, but I want to appreciate. I want to say that I appreciate you guys, all of you guys. You know, thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your prayers in this entire situation because y'all been praying for like a year and a half, 2 years. You know what I'm saying? But it has concluded and now it's time to move forward, not move on. I'll never forget my brother. I'll never forget him. I got him close to my heart. But it is time to move forward, and I'm gonna need your guys' help in doing that. And I appreciate anybody that helps in the situation. But Max 101, what's up? Angry. I would like your take of the boys not picking Shadur Sanders when he was available into the fourth round this past NFL draft. You would like my take on not picking Shadur Sanders because he really wasn't needed. Like, especially after getting Joe Milton, he really wasn't needed. And I feel like the Dallas Cowboys, more often than not, go into these drafts picking starters. You know what I'm saying? They pick players that they hope is going to make an impact this year. Even if they're project players, like, yeah, we'll get them acclimated to the system and we'll be using them this year. If we were to pick a quarterback, he's not going to start this year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he'll start in preseason, but he's not going to make an immediate impact on this team. Would he make an impact if he decided to stay long? Sure. But there may be quarterbacks that are coming out of this upcoming draft or a draft 2 years down the road that may pique their interest that they want. And if you get a Shadur Sanders, not only does it come with the circus, but actually I've not heard too much bad about him coming out of Cleveland, so I can't talk about the circus. But if you pick a Shadur Sanders right now, and let's say Dak Prescott does work out for the 4 years you have him under contract, then you're gonna see yourself with an Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love type of scenario where you're going to have to extend a quarterback who hasn't seen any playing time. I mean, Jordan Love was able to see a season of playing time before, the Green Bay Packers had to make the choice to extend him. But in this scenario, what if Dak balls out and he's here for the 4 years? You have Shadur Sanders sitting here holding a clipboard, and then you have that dilemma when it's time to either extend Dak Prescott, or to just move on with Shadur Sanders. So I feel like not picking Shadur Sanders was kind of dodging potential conflict down the road. And it ain't even the conflict of who's gonna lead the team, because you could be like, yeah, peace Dak, and have Shadur Sanders, but it creates the conflict for the front office. Like, dang, do we pay him record breaking money? We ain't even seen him play. Do we pay him $50 million? We ain't even seen him play. So that's one of the reasons. And I did a video on this, Max, and there's been a number of people that associate his fall with race, and I don't agree. I don't agree with that. I would agree more with his fall having to do with them saying, "Chill, bro. You ain't all that." You know what I'm saying? Let's show as a collective that it's the NFL and not Shadur Sanders. Let's take him down a peg. Let's calm his ego down. And I believe it did. I believe it served its purpose. I heard he's doing good with the Cleveland Browns, but I've also heard that he might not make the team. He might get cut. Shit, they got 4 quarterbacks. You only need 3. You know what I'm saying? So I wish them the best of luck. We'll see what happens when the 53-man rosters get fleshed out. Let's see. It's 11 here. It's 11 a.m. here in Dallas, ACF on the East Coast. Yeah, I'm ahead of you. It's 12:04 right here. It's 12:04 right here. It's 12:04. Richard, what's going on with you? What's going on with you? Okay, shout out Davenport, Iowa. Shout out Dallas. Okay, y'all gonna put where y'all at? Y'all gonna put where y'all at? Okay, I see you. We got Drew in the building. Drew, I was talking about you. I was talking about you earlier, bro. Good to see you too, man. Good to see you too. I was talking about you earlier. The message that you sent to me in TikTok. I'm like, bro, we're gonna have to talk about this whole championships before there was 32 teams in the league. You can't count no championships when you only had 11 teams in the damn league. You can't do that. Nah. But no shoot. I think I showed y'all this. Yeah. Yeah. That's him. That's Rick. Yeah. Bradimus Prime, what's going on with you? Max, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. And you know I had to keep it cowboy blue, you know what I'm saying? What is that, velvet? But I got him right there. I got him right next to me. Make sure I put that up. There we go. Got him right next to me. Got him right next to me. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Ricky. Oh man. But Cowboys Nation, I thank you guys. Thank you guys so very much for rocking with me. I had y'all on here for a whole movie length, an hour and a half. I got to get ready to go down here and get this what is it? The dang ultrasound on my leg, because I just want to make sure my shit ain't infected and I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So I'll keep y'all up to date with that. But as far as Dallas Cowboys, the angry Cowboys fan is back on the grind. And I think the grind is going to be even more severe than it was before. We going to get this raw and uncut out, and we going to do it for my brother, because he would want me to do it. He would want me to continue, keep my foot on the gas, and get that one-on-one interview with Stephen A. Smith. We're gonna try, Rick. We're gonna try. We're gonna represent these Cowboys. And if and when we win a Super Bowl, I'm gonna do the Dak Prescott and point right up to you, bro. Love you guys. Love you, Rick. We're gonna get up out of here. It's been your man, the Angry Cowboys fan. And guys, I will have more content for y'all coming very, very soon. I'll holla. Oh, yeah. Peace out, Rick. Peace out, y'all. Love you. Who know about the end credit scene? Yeah, y'all know that I do the end credit scene. Hope everybody has a great day. Thank you, Nisi. I just came on here freestyle. You know, that's what we're gonna do from now on. Just come on here freestyle. I'll have topics to talk to y'all about, but we just gonna come in here freestyle. I'm gonna put the link up there. I just got this whole setup for a whole year, paid for it for a whole year. So we're gonna be putting the link in the description and everything, so y'all can come up and give y'all raw and uncut, because it is as important as my raw and uncut. All right. So that being said,